All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is October 20th, 2022. All right, I'm bringing forth one of my, I don't know if I'm going to start a segment with this or I don't know. I'll kind of see how it goes because the last one did pretty well. This is the power of DNA, and I just may make this into a segment. I don't know yet. I don't want to commit to that just yet. I got a couple different segments going on already. But this is the story of Bobby Dunbar. I just, no matter how many stories I read like this, I mean, I still find it personally just fascinating with genetics, man. I mean, it's just, and really, to me, for me, it points to just to the greatness and the power, right, of the Most High, right? I mean, so people can lie. You can lie to yourself. You can believe what you want. You can say what you want. It does not make it true. But the Most High's genetics, man. I mean, it's the end all be all for everything. DNA is infallible. DNA is irrefutable. I don't care what anyone says. I know this to be an actual fact. Okay, and we're dealing with the Most High, man. We're dealing with an omnipotent power that's all knowing, all seeing. I mean, all everything. He is the Alpha and the Omega. All right. So, anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this story right here. Well, I guess I won't call it a segment, but this presentation of the power of DNA, the story of Bobby Dunbar. And listen, y'all, please continue to like, hit a thumbs up to the videos and subscribe if you haven't already. And when you subscribe, make sure you check all so you'll be notified of every time I upload a new video, a presentation, or a segment, Real Talk Tuesdays or Thinking Out Loud. All right, so y'all enjoy. Until next time, it's Dr. E signing off. Shalom, elect. DNA is powerful. I mean, we see it every day, right? Where someone's been locked up 20, 30, 40 years and DNA exonerates them of the crime. Or we've seen DNA, absolves people from crimes as well. DNA is extremely powerful. It's almost like it's God's mathematics, right? Man can lie on DNA, but they can't change anyone's DNA. And DNA will tell you the truth. The problem with that is that, people get emotional, man. People say they want the truth, but they can't handle the truth. And that's what DNA does. It reveals the truth. DNA doesn't care about what your family told you, about what you think, or how you feel. DNA will reveal the truth without question. So my thing is, if you can't handle the truth, then don't seek it. I mean, it's as simple as that. I see it all the time, and please believe, women, sisters are not the only ones to get emotional. You get a lot of grown men to get all emotional. When you say stuff like, well, African Americans, quote unquote, we're not Africans, where we should be called by our nationality. To get emotional about that. There's nothing to get emotional about, man. It's like, when you come with truth and facts, people don't care nothing about that. They care about what they feel. They care about their narrative, right? So anyway, enough of that. I came across a very, very interesting story about this Bobby Dunbar, and I thought it was a perfect presentation today to give an example of the power of DNA. All right, so I'm not even going to give you any kind of intros. We're going to get right into it. So again, hope everyone is resting well in this Shabbat, and I hope you enjoy the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for all the new videos. Okay? Shabbat Shalom, Mahaya B'Hashem Yeshua HaMashiach. All right. In August 1912, Leslie and Percy Dunbar of Opelousas, Louisiana, took their 4-year-old son, Bobby, on a fishing trip. It was during that trip to nearby Swayze Lake that little Bobby Dunbar disappeared. After an 8-month search, authorities found a boy in Mississippi who appeared to match Bobby's description. The boy had been traveling with William Cantwell Walters, a handyman who roamed around the country tuning and repairing wealthy people's pianos and organs. Walters was immediately arrested for kidnapping, and the boy was reunited with his parents. According to newspaper reports at the time, Leslie and Percy may not have initially recognized the boy. While one newspaper reported that Bobby immediately shouted out, "Mother!" upon seeing Leslie, another said the boy only cried. Leslie was also quoted as saying she didn't recognize him. There were also contradictions in the accounts of the boy being united with his younger brother, Alonzo. One paper reported that Alonzo didn't appear to recognize his own brother, while another wrote that he recognized him instantly and called him by his name and kissed him. The next day, Leslie bathed the boy and said she could positively identify him by his moles and scars, and she was now certain that he was her son. However, Walters, the man accused of kidnapping Bobby, had a different story to tell. He told the authorities the boy wasn't Bobby Dunbar, that his name was Charles Bruce Anderson, generally referred to as Bruce, the son of an unmarried field worker who was employed by his family. The field worker was named Julia Anderson, and Walters said she had willingly given him custody of the boy because she couldn't look after him. Anderson backed up Walters' story, sort of. She said she had given Walters permission to take Bruce on what was supposed to be a 2-day trip to visit some of Walters' relatives, and that Walter just never returned the boy. The Dunbars, Anderson, and Walters ended up in a court battle. The court sided with the Dunbars, and Walters was sentenced to time in jail for kidnapping. After the trial, Anderson relocated to Poplarville, where she built a new life for herself, eventually marrying and having 7 more children by her new husband. However, her descendants said she never stopped talking about the son she had lost. Anderson and Walters maintained the boy was Bruce Anderson for the rest of their lives, and the boy went to his grave believing he was Bobby Dunbar. Then, in the early 2000s, one of Bobby's granddaughters, Margaret Dunbar Cutright, started looking into her family's history. All her life, she was told her grandfather was kidnapped as a child and reunited with his parents 8 months later. When she began poring over newspaper reports from the time, she realized there could be more to the story. The rest of her family considered themselves to be proud descendants of Bobby Dunbar, and they wanted Margaret to drop her investigation. But she didn't. First, she interviewed Julia Anderson's children, and then she thoroughly read through the notes and evidence presented by Walter's defense attorney for his kidnapping trial and appeal. She became convinced Bobby Dunbar wasn't Bobby Dunbar after all. Then in 2004, after an Associated Press reporter became interested in the story, Bobby Dunbar Jr., one of Bobby's sons, reluctantly agreed to a DNA test. The results proved that Bobby Dunbar was not actually a Dunbar. He was, in fact, Bruce Anderson. Leslie and Percy Dunbar were either so distraught over the loss of their son that they truly believed Bruce was Bobby, or as Anderson always believed, they just decided to keep the boy even though they knew he wasn't their son. To this day, no one knows what happened to the real Bobby Dunbar. Margaret believes he most likely fell into the Swayze Lake during the fishing trip and was eaten by an alligator. And while her findings brought vindication to the Andersons and the Walters families, it tore her own family apart. And there it is there. The story of Bobby Dunbar and how powerful DNA is. It can absolve, it can exonerate, it can also destroy. Why? Because it reveals the truth. For over 90 years, that family lived a lie. There's a whole bunch of descendants that does not belong to that family tree. And that's my whole point. And I thought that was a perfect presentation that, kind of puts a veil over the power of DNA. And there's so many stories out there, right? DNA will tell you the truth. It does not care about your feelings or, how you feel, what you feel. And I've always been of the mindset that I'd rather be hurt with the truth than comforted with a lie. But unfortunately, a lot of people, especially our people, are very comfortable with lies because it fits their narrative and it fits what they want to believe. Simple as that. So that's it. And I hope you all enjoy this presentation. And make sure you hit the subscribe and select all. And until next time, it's Dr. E signing off. Shalom, elect.